before we start our session, first of all, let's all together pay homage to the Supreme Buddha, and let's go for refuge to the Triple Gems, and after observing 5 precepts, we can start off with the 7. So I invite all of you to join your hands, pay homage to the Supreme Buddha, say with me. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. To observe 5 precepts, repeat after me. I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs. I observe these precepts for happiness in this life, and to realize the 4 Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhist Viharaya, dear meritorious devotees. Good morning to you all. It's a great pleasure and a great honor for me to be here today with you in this special event that happens in Isipatana Monastery in Wales. So today, now we are going to listen to one of the most beautiful teachings that Buddha taught us. So I'm so happy today that I came across this sermon yesterday. I read this poem yesterday, and this teaches us about a wonderful teaching about the life and also about the meditation. Okay, so before we start off with to listen to this sermon, let's practice a little bit of meditation, and then we can dive into the sermon. So I'd like to invite all of you to sit in a relaxed, comfortable posture, and if you can keep your left palm under the right palm, that's the traditional way of meditation, or your palms facing down on your lap, it's also a good thing to do. Make your body nice and straight. Relax your shoulders. And gently close your eyes. Let's take this next few minutes to bring our awareness to the natural flow of breath that's already happening in our body. I need all of you to feel the in-breath and the out-breath. Just be aware of the in-breath as it comes, and just be aware of the out-breath as it moves out. Now gently open your eyes and say sadhu, 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 sadhu. Okay, settle down. Okay. Because you know, after a ceremony, our minds are a little bit all over the place, isn't it? So, yeah. We need to settle down, and we need to come to one place to know who we are first. Okay. It's something like this. To understand, so one of the greatest teachings that Buddha teaches us is the impermanence of life. Right? So Buddha invites all of us to see the impermanence of each and every experience. Okay, not always about the apparent, the superficial impermanence, but also the impermanence of very subtle experiences that happens in our mind. For an example, an apparent impermanence will be this glass plate will break if we fall down, right? So that is very obvious to us. We know it. It's clear. It is impermanence. Okay? This cup will break one day. Our body is becoming impermanent. Okay? That's very obvious to all of us. We know it. Everyone can understand it. But to understand about the impermanence of our mind, of our thought, of our experience, now we need to settle down first. That is why in Buddhism, the Buddha has introduced two types of meditations. One is called samatha, and the other one is called vipassana. Vipassana, you've heard of it before. Have you been to vipassana retreats? Has anyone have been to vipassana retreats? Please raise your hand. Good. Okay. So, there are two parts of meditation. One is called samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. Samatha is the practice of calming the mind. Okay, settling down the mind. And vipassana is the practice of insight, to see into our mind, to see into our life, and to understand it as it is. Okay? Trying to change our life. What we are doing is we are trying to understand it as it is. What's the nature of it? But to understand this nature of the mind, the Buddha says it's not easy to do that, because the mind is so fast. It changes very rapidly. Okay, so that you can't understand the nature of it without coming into one place. I will give you a good example to understand about this. I know that you all have been in trains, right? So I had this habit of, in Sri Lanka, it's not like here, okay? In Sri Lanka, you can open the windows and you can put your head out. Here you can't do that, right? In Sri Lanka, Sri Lankans know about it, no? Have you gone on the footboard of the train? Yes, we all have done that. Okay. So, I had this bad habit of putting my head out and just looking at the things outside. Okay. And the train moved so fast. I used to look at the rail track, which is, we have two rail tracks. One we can't see because it's where the train is going on, but the other one that we can see. So I used to look at this train track. And when you're in the train, when you move fast, you see this rail track as one single rail track. Just one continuous rail track. That's how you see it. Okay. In the same way, we all have this life that we think that this life is permanent. It is continuous. Okay. It is not changing. Do you see this changing? Do you? No, it doesn't change. It stays there. Okay? We have that experience. It doesn't change much. But to understand the change, the Buddha says that it is changing right now. But to understand that change, you can't move fast. Same like you're traveling in the train track, you see one single train, continuous one. But to see, to understand what it really is, the train track really is, but what do you have to do? First, you have to get down from the train, come to one place, and then observe. Right? I know you all have walked here. You can't. I don't know. Can you do that? No. But in Sri Lanka, we just always walk on the rail track. Yeah, we do that all the time. Okay. Have you ever tried, if you're Sri Lankan, you tried to balance, walk on the one rail track, right? And you always fail. So when you come to one place, you understand, oh, this rail track is made by joining lots of rails. Okay, it is not one continuous rail. In the same way, to understand the impermanence, okay, you have to come to one place, settle down, and be at this present moment. And when you observe, then you understand how impermanent this life is. So today I would like to share a wonderful teaching, a wonderful poem that was said by the Buddha. So the Buddha was very poetic. Okay. When you read the Buddha's teachings, you will find a lot of poems. Okay. Buddha was a wonderful poet. Why do I say that? Is one of the most famous books of Buddhism is called Dhammapada. Okay. Dhammapada is full of poems, verses, which was preached by the Buddha. Okay. So this is also a poem that was preached by the Buddha that explains about how to practice the meditation and how to understand and how to live a happy life. Now, when you imagine the happy life, okay, we all of us, we imagine in different ways. What is happiness to you? And that way we imagine a happy life. If I ask from you, how do you define a happy life? How do you define? A happy life with a big house, with a good car, and then if you like to have children, then with children. If you don't like them, with no children. Last day I talked with a little girl. She was so matured. I don't know how she knows this. I asked what is the thing that you don't like to do in life? She's like, to have kids. Then I asked why? She said they are so annoying. Then I asked why do you think like that? I have a little brother. He's so annoying. He's annoying my mom. He's annoying my dad. And I was I've never had kids. I said now you will understand when you grow up. It's different. Okay. Yes, so happy life, we imagine in those frames that were given by the society. When we come to this world, we knew nothing about happiness. Did we? But we were happy. Somehow. Right? When we grow up, the society around us, okay, the people around us, made a frame for our happiness and said, this is the frame only inside this frame that there is happiness. Now what you have to do, try to fit in. Okay, that's what our parents said to us. Okay, you go to school, get through the exam, you'll be happy. Okay, and go to university, you'll get a degree, you'll be happy. Do a job, earn money, you'll be happy. Buy a car and you'll be happy. Make a house, good house, you'll be happy. So that we just trying to fit into these frames. But most of us die with unsatisfaction, right? Without being satisfied with the happiness. Okay. Because we didn't know that the happiness was not in frames. Okay. Happiness was here, always within us, right now. So we have it. Okay. When you frame it, it becomes unsatisfaction. Right now you are insecure for that, so that you have to try to fit into that. Of course, when you live in this world, you have to do that now. We have no choice, isn't it? Yes, you have to do. But you also have to understand and make some time to enjoy and experience the happiness, peace that you can gain right now. Okay. So the Buddha says, this wonderful poem, I will recite it for you, line by line. So the Buddha says, let not a person revive the past, or on the future build his hopes. Okay? For the past has left behind, and the future has not been reached. So this is the first verse of the poem. The Buddha says, do not too much dwell on the past. Okay? And also, do not too much build hopes to the future. Now when you hear this, I know what you think. What is it? Easy for you to say. Did I read your mind? Easy for you to say, right? Easy for the Buddha to say, but difficult to do, right? We have dreams, we have hopes, Sometimes we have past memories. So what Buddha means from this is that Buddha doesn't say that you should not think about past. Okay? And also Buddha doesn't say that you should not think about the future. What Buddha says is that understand that past is something that already gone. Okay, there is past an experience. Okay. A thought that happens right now, disguised as past, that you come up with all these memories. Okay, that is past, that we label it. It's okay to understand, it's okay to think about it, but understand that past is already gone. Doesn't exist anymore. But the past was once a present experience, isn't it? Yes. But all these experiences left some impressions on us. Okay, made some impressions on us. And we continued these impressions in our mind up to right now. Can you imagine a time that you got blamed by your boss? That's a past memory, isn't it? Is it painful? It is. Right? But now when you think about that past memory, does it happen right now? Is it happening right now? Now the thought is happening. You're thinking it right now. Okay? But you think it as something that happened past because of those impressions that left in our mind. These impressions are called sanskara. Okay? Sanskara means the formations. Okay? The impressions that left by the experiences that we continue with. Okay? So the Buddha says that understand about what past is and also what future is. Okay? Future is something that has not yet arrived, that we can't define what future is. The only thing that you can experience is, or the only thing that you experience is what? This moment. So if the present moment is the only thing that you can experience, the Buddha says, now experience it as it is. Okay. So that is what the Buddha says. For the past has left behind. Understand it. But we are not ready to accept it, are we? Yes. That is why some days we lie on the bed in the night and think about all the things that happened in the past. The things that people said to us, did to us, you know. Do you get a good sleep when you do that? You don't? Okay. You're looking at the ceiling sometimes and remember all the past memories. Sometimes we too much be excited about the future and dwell, right? Keep our huge hopes, big hopes to the future and build our expectations on that. Then what happens? Sometimes we don't meet these expectations, do we? No. Right? When we don't meet expectations, our expectations, right? When we can't live up to our own expectations, what do we do to us usually? We hate. We hate ourselves. Why I'm not good? Right? Why I couldn't do that? Sometimes we hold on to loads of hopes to other people as well. The people around us. And when they can't meet your expectations, what we do is we build the hate towards other people. If I can do that, why can't they do that? That's what we ask. Okay. Usually when people come to me, if it's a relationship problem, usually when they come to a temple, I know that it's always a problem. Okay. I get a call like, no, I need to talk to you. I know that, okay, this is a problem. If it is a relationship problem, the one thing that I always see is, I ask, if I can do that, why can't she do that? Why can't he do that? I'm a good person, I can do these things. But you can't do that. Why? Right? Because we haven't understood that sometimes the other person, they just can't do it. It's not their life. It's who they are. Okay. Usually when it's a relationship, understand, it's a man and a woman. totally different personalities, two different people, you know. Sometimes they think in different ways, they view the world in different ways. So that we have to understand how the other person, the person that is next to you, think, how they feel. Okay, and accept who they are. Only when you accept yourself as it is, and the people around you as who they are, then only you can understand them correctly, and also then only then you can help them to be more developed in their mind. Okay, to improve. Only when you accept. If you're not ready to accept yourself, your mistakes, your faults, you keep hating yourself. Because your expectations and your reality has a gap. The more the gap, the more the stress. Okay? So it's much better to come to the present moment and understand, who am I? What are my strengths? What are my faults? What are my weaknesses? And this is who I am. Then you can improve. So this is what I teach for many people when they come to meditation classes. What is it? They come to the meditation class thinking they can meditate for 1 hour every single day and be at peace. Only when they sit down and close their eyes, they realize that how distracted they are. Did you experience it today? It's not that easy, right? When we sit down for the meditation, our expectations are this much, and we are here. That's what happened to me. Okay. That's what happened to me. I thought after becoming a monk, every problem will be solved. Yes, but no. Right after becoming a monk, you don't feel any change. It's just who you are, the same person, same thought pattern. Okay? It takes a long time. It takes a long time to change. This is how I know about this is because I'm telling you my personal experience, okay? After becoming a monk, at least for 2 years, you always say like me. You see dreams at night. You always see the dreams like you see yourself not as a monk, as a normal person. Okay, still there is something inside. But after a few years you start to see, now you have the monk's dreams. Okay, so still it takes time to change. That is why I always say, it takes 15 minutes to be a monk physically. Okay, it doesn't take much time, but it takes a lifelong practice to be a monk with the mind, from the mind. So it will be a slow process. Still I am trying to be a monk. So the Buddha says, understand that for the past has left behind, it's over now. When you understand this, when you realize this, it's very easy for you to let go of some parts, the things that you have to let go. Okay. The reason why it is very difficult for us to let go is that we have not fully realized. It hasn't touched our hearts. What is it? The past has gone now. It's over. That's why when you get blamed from someone, when you get criticized from someone, you take it home. Okay, you bring it home. And what do? You remake it inside. You rewind that tape inside and you think about it again and again. And you build some excess thoughts on it. And you make the problem even more worse. But if you understand that everything that you experience right now is becoming impermanence, what happened to all of the words that I spoke up to now? Do they exist anymore? No. But did it leave any impressions on your mind? That is called samskara. Okay. So that we continue. That is why you can take this sermon home and think about it. Okay. And then the Buddha says, instead, with insight, let him see each presently arising state. With insight, let him see each presently arising state. Let him know that and be sure of it. This is what we have to do. What is it? Through the meditation and practice, what we have to understand is that we have to bring our mind to this present moment, and we have to understand that the present moment is the only moment that we can experience. Okay. It's always a present moment. And you have to be sure of it. How to be sure of it? To experience it by yourself, through yourself. That is the difference between the Buddha's teachings. It doesn't stop only with the teaching. The end is a personal experience. You have to see it through yourself. Put it into practice. And then the Buddha says, today the effort must be made. You put into practice and you have to make the effort today, not tomorrow. Why? Why you should have to do this today? Tomorrow, death may come. Okay, who knows? The Buddha says, tomorrow death may come. Tomorrow, you will lose this opportunity. So today is the only day that you get to practice. But why we become a little bit backward and lazy to do this? Because we think that we live tomorrow, isn't it? Yes. We never know. Okay? That's the truth. So the Buddha says, tomorrow death may come, who knows? And this is the most wonderful line that I like a lot. The Buddha says, no bargain with mortality can keep the death away. Okay. You can't bargain with mortality and say that just wait a little bit, I will wash my clothes and do all the dishes, and after that you can come. No, you can't do that. When it comes, you have to accept it and you have to go with it. That's the nature. So you only get this moment to practice it. The Buddha says this not to be afraid of it. And when people talk about death, people are so afraid of it, isn't it? These are the big no-nos in families usually, the topics about death. Okay? Yes, I used to annoy my mother a lot by talking about death. Okay? She's someone who doesn't like to think about death. And I also like, no, although you don't like to think about it, it happens. So what I do is usually when we go out of the house, we go to school, usually it's the Sri Lankan tradition to worship the parents. So we worship our parents and we leave our home. So we say, when we leave our home, we say, I say, Mama Yanang. Mama Yanang means I'll go, I'm leaving. And my mother says, no. Don't say I'll leave. Say I'll leave, I'm going and I will come back. That means, my Yanang, don't say that. Say Gihing Ennang. Okay, Gihing Ennang means I will come back. So now you know it is the best time to annoy. I say, I don't know whether I'll be able to come back. Maybe I'll die on the way. Right? And then you get hit by the Asian weapon. Do you know what's the Asian weapon? The slipper. Death, yes, sickness, these things, the things that Buddha, usually people doesn't like to think about. But Buddha, surprisingly, the Buddha said, think about it, reflect on it, on your death. Death is one of the greatest meditations that Buddha praised a lot. Okay. One time the Buddha says, rather than giving loads of foods, huge valuable things, material things, rather than donating valuable things, if you can focus on your death, at least for a moment, okay, reflect on your death, meditate on your death, at least for a little moment, that is one of the greatest meditations. And that is one of the greatest achievements that you can do in life. Okay. So the Buddha says, no bargain with mortality, you can't bargain, understand that. So that today, you have to make the effort. That means right now, be mindful. Right now, you have to practice it. But it is difficult to do. Okay. With all of things, no? So that is why I always say for people, find a good time during the day for you to be with yourself and to practice a little bit of meditation. Don't say that you are busy. Hands up those who are busy. You're all busy, isn't it? Yes. So don't expect your life to give you a separate time for the meditation. It doesn't say, okay, now I've removed all the responsibilities and all the things that you need to do. Now it's your time to meditate. Life doesn't give you such times. Okay. To be honest, being a monk, I also don't have such a time. A separate time that life says to me, now, okay, you don't have anything to do, now you meditate. No, it doesn't say that. Time doesn't happen. You have to make it. Okay, it all depends on how much you prioritize your spiritual happiness, spiritual practice, meditation. There are things that you do during the day no matter what, isn't it? Yes. No matter what you do, what happens, you do that. What are those things? Usually you eat, no matter what happens, because you need it. You feel that you need it. No matter what happens, you clean yourself. Okay, I don't say that you have a shower every day. Sometimes we don't get to have it. But somehow we clean ourselves. No matter what happens, because it's a need. No matter what happens, you just check your phone. Sometimes. No matter what happens, sometimes you check your emails. I thought about this last day because it's amazing. Even though we die, our email inbox keep the emails coming to us, isn't it? Even though we die one day, the emails keep coming, the promotions, everything will come. And our inbox will be filled. I don't know what life is, it's amazing. So, the Buddha says that understand that you cannot bargain with mortality, so that you have to be very heedful. Heedfulness in Buddhism is called appamada. Okay, a lot of people understand it in the wrong way. Heedfulness doesn't mean that you have to be panicked. Okay, so the Buddha says, don't be late. Don't be late to do these things. But in the same time, the Buddha says, don't be late, but don't be panicked. The Buddha explains about this in a beautiful way. How the Buddha explains is that if a person's hair caught fire, let's say your hair caught fire, now you have fire on your head. Should you be panicked?
Yes.
Huh? What will happen if you become panicked? What's the first thing the normal thing that you do if you become panicked, if your hair caught fire? Huh? You run. That's the worst thing to do, isn't it? People who get caught fire to their body, the first thing that they do, the worst thing that they do is, when they become panicked, is they run. When you run, it burns even more. So that, what's the first thing to do? To be aware. Right? To be aware of the movement and what should I do now? If not, you will do worse things. Okay. So what Buddha says is that don't be panicked, but be more aware and be more mindful. Okay, it's not easy. None of these things that today we talk about, these things, they are not easy. They are difficult. Right? It is difficult for you. It is difficult for me. Okay. It was difficult for the Buddha. So if it was difficult for the Buddha, there's nothing to talk about us. So we all have to do it in the hard way, difficult way. Find some time during the day to be with your thoughts. That's the start. I don't ask you to meditate, because some of you can't do that. Some of you are still not ready to do that, but at least find a good time to be with yourself. That means no other things, no other distractions, no mobile phones, no nothing, just you and your thoughts. Okay? Seems a little bit scary when you be with your thoughts. People are so much afraid to be with their own thoughts. That's the truth. That is why whenever you are alone, what do you have on your palm? The phone. Okay. The only place that you don't have, the only place that you be with yourself is only when you're in the toilet. Am I right? Yes. But some people bring their mobile phone even to the toilet. I have seen that. Am I right? Do you bring it? Huh? Sometimes people do that. Why? Because we don't like the boredom. We don't like to be boring. Okay. Imagine coming here, just sitting down and I ask you to meditate. Just to close your eyes. How many of you yawn? Maybe. I feel boring sometimes in that way, yeah. It's the truth. Okay, because we hardly be with ourselves. We are not used to be with our own thoughts. We like to be with others or be with distractions. Only when you become inwardly focused, when you become more aware of your thought process, only then you can practice the spirituality. Because it is always inside, an inner thing to do. Okay. So the Buddha says there is no bargain with mortality, you can't bargain it. But the one who dwells relentlessly by day and night, by meditating on this present moment, it is he, the peaceful sage has said, who has had a single excellent night. When you come to this present moment, and if you made your mind hard to let go of the things that happened in the past, and not too much dwell on the future, just being in the present moment, the Buddha says, you can have an excellent night. Imagine a night going to bed with no past regrets or no nothing or no future plans. Just sleep. How peaceful will it be? I will tell you one time that you experienced this. What is it? The first day that you get the vacation. Okay. Tomorrow, like you don't have much plans. What do? You just sleep and wake up. Okay. It feels. That's not the correct way to say it, but you feel that because your mind is so much free. Okay. There are no big plans in your head. There are no big regrets in your head. You just enjoy the moment. Okay. In the same way, the Buddha says, practice this and get used to experience this present moment and be more aware of it. To do that, one of the greatest meditations that Buddha introduced for us is the breathing meditation. It's called the Anapanasati meditation. And breath is a wonderful hook that we can use to be at present. Okay. And breath is so important, and it is an important thing. Even the Buddha used this meditation in the night of his enlightenment, for his enlightenment. Okay, that is why breath is so important. Breath is something that changes every time. Breath is something that changes with each and every thought, emotion that we have in our mind. Why do I say that? How do you breathe? Let me ask you, how do you breathe when you're afraid of something? How do you breathe? It's just breathe faster. It changes, right? With your emotion. Yes. How do you breathe when you're sad? When you sob? You have seen people how they breathe. Yes. They gasp. That's your breath changing. How do you breathe when you're relaxed? You take a deep breath in and let it go. Right. What did you do at first when you were born? The first thing that you did? Took a deep breath. What happens at the end of our life? We take deep breath. The breath is something that is important. That is why the Buddha said, it is a very good tool for us to practice, to be at present moment, to experience this present moment, is to practice the breathing meditation. So that is why we did it today. Okay? So find a good time to practice this little thing. I don't teach you much big meditations. Okay? Just get used to your breath, practicing it. Where you can do these things. Whenever you can do that. Wherever you go, you can do this. Okay. Raise your hand if you are traveling in the bus or a train daily. Raise your hand. Ah, good. If you're on the train or if you're on the bus, if you don't have much things to do, practice this. Okay? Don't do it while driving, okay? Don't do that. And if you're at home, just sit on a chair, maybe sit on the floor, close your eyes, and just be aware of it. But at first, you'll not be able to do it for the whole time, you'll not be good at it. Your mind will be distracted, but it's okay. It's the nature. It's the nature of your mind to be distracted. One thing that you have to do is be kind. Be kind to your mind. Be kind to yourself. In meditation, our meditation teachers told us that look at your mind like you look at a baby. The same way you're looking at a baby. When it comes to meditation, we all are babies, isn't it? Yes. We're still crawling. Sometimes we don't know how to crawl sometimes. When you look at a baby, do you have big expectations? No. When a baby is born, you don't expect the baby to walk on the first day that they were born, right? Yes. You just wait until it happens. And give a proper nurturing, take care of them. Because one day you know that they will walk. In the same way, when you sit down for the meditation, have very little expectations. Okay? And if your mind becomes calm and peaceful, mindful, at least for a little moment, be happy with it. Celebrate it. Because at least you did it. And let's say you sat down for the meditation and the only thing that you could do was just sit down. Nothing happened. Okay? We have done a lot of things like that when we become monks. And the first years, being junior monks, we had to meditate for 2 hours every day. We just didn't do anything. Our elder monks was meditating in front of us, and I was waiting until they get up. Yeah. I couldn't do anything. Just waiting until they get up, waiting until these 2 hours passed. But I just sat down. Okay, sat down cross-legged and waited until 2 hours. The sitting down was a part of his lesson. Because even though you didn't do many things, you just sat down. And if you can be happy with just sitting down, it's okay. That's a little achievement. Sometimes you can't do that in every day, So then don't hate yourself. Because we all have these imperfections, mistakes, difficulties. So that's the best way to look at yourself. When you understand that you have imperfections, it's much easier to relate it to other people. Same as I have imperfections, they do have. So that it's much more easier to forgive. Okay. That is why in Buddhism we learn about suffering. First you have to look at your suffering in life. When you understand it, you can relate it to other people. And then it's very easy for you to forgive people. Because same as I go through suffering, they too have their own suffering. So that I need to understand about them. This is what people lack in life most of the time. To understand other people's suffering. This is called compassion in Buddhism. Compassion means to suffer together. To share someone's suffering, pain. You don't have to suffer alone in life, but some people do. Do you know why people suffer alone? Because the people around them, they're not ready to understand and share their suffering. So that people keep it to themselves. Okay. This is what I experience when I talk to people, in relationship problems. They say, I ask from people, why don't you say all the problems and difficulties to your partner? And they say, she doesn't understand. He doesn't understand my pain and suffering. That is why they suffer alone. Right? If we can share and understand someone's suffering, we always have someone to cry with. We always have someone to share our pain and suffering. Then the suffering shared, suffering half. Okay? So that is called compassion, to understand someone's suffering, pain. And that is one of the greatest qualities that we need to have. And that is one of the greatest qualities that Buddha had. Buddha understood his suffering, his pain, his suffering in life, realized it, and then he had a great compassion on other beings. This is the nature of life, so that I need to be compassionate. So he worked towards his humanity for the rest of his life. For 45 years, dedicated his life, time and energy to teach the wonderful realization that he realized. So, I invite all of you, okay, no matter how busy you are, just find at least 5 minutes a day to practice this breathing meditation. Okay. Do it, make it something that you do no matter what happens. How to do it? Give a big priority. Prioritize it. Okay. So none of us are busy. It's all about priorities that we do. Okay. So I wish you all, may all of you be healthy, may all of you be happy, and may all of you live in peace, and may all of you be able to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu. So this probably be my final sermon for this time in this country. So I'm very and super grateful for everyone who participated for the sermons and joined with us and learned the Buddha's teachings. And I'm really grateful for inviting me to share the Buddha's teachings with you all. So, and I'm really thankful for all the monks, my brother monks. They were the biggest strength behind me, support behind me. So, it's the time to be grateful. So let's all share all the merits that we shared, that we collected today with everyone. So please everyone say sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's share all the merits that we collected today with all the devas who protect the Gautam Buddha's dispensation. May all the devas rejoice in this merit and may they be well and happy, may they live long, may they live a happy life. And may they realize Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also let's share the merits with my teacher, Pinod Lokaswami Vahase, and with all the monks and the nuns of Mahamena Monastery, and with all the Mahasangha all around the world, and especially with Amatagavasi Swami Vahase and all the other brother monks of the Mahamena Monastery here in UK. May all the monks rejoice in this merit and may they be well and happy, may they live long, may they live a happy life. And may they realize Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And let's share all the merits with our parents and our teachers. May all of them rejoice in this merit and may they be well and happy. May they live long, may they live a happy life. And may they realize Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And finally, may all of you devotees rejoice in this merit by the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. May all of you be well and happy. May all of you live a healthy life. May all of you live happily. May all of you live in peace. May all of you realize Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm blessing you now. Abhivadana Silisa Nichang Vada Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vadhanti Ayuvanno Sukambala Ayurarogya Sampati Sagga Sampati Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampati Vinate Samichatu. Sadhu. Thank you for coming. Sadhu. Come on, come down. Super Dviva, super Dviva, super Dviva. Thank you.